How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about LUCID and we're going to be talking about NIO. Both of these stocks were able to post up a green day. We also had Tesla that had a monstrous day inside of the market due to the fact that they had some mediocre earnings and investors were still excited about that. We also see a lot of momentum coming through the EV sector as well. So in this video, we're going to be going over the recent institutional ownership. We're also going to be taking a look at the charts, and then at the end, I'll be giving my final recap for both of these stocks. And if you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. So let's get into those videos right now. So we're going to take a look at the chart for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $21.48, being up 0.99%. On the low, it tested $20.78, and then on the high, testing $21.78. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 15.746 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 14.56 million shares. So we had above average volume and we saw strength in the stock. When we take a look at our chart, we're using the daily chart. Prior, we're using the smaller time frames, but I want you guys to see the bigger picture here. So you could see from July the 5th, we did experience quite the run up and being on a strong uptrend like I've previously stated. Testing that low at 1636, and now here we are testing highs at 2178. If you remember, the short-term price target is around 2250, but I'd want to see a move actually to $23, especially going into next week. But aside from that, the zone that I want to see Lucid being able to hold up is $20. So we're able to form another higher low on the day at 2078. So if we could stay within this range of $20 and as well as a high today around 2178, that will be a great look for this stock overall in general. So that's what you want to look out for, especially since $20 used to be a psychological area. If you remember, it was a strong resistance point for Lucid, and now that we have some solid price action above it and we've been able to actually close above that level consistently, this is where I say, you know what, this play has some more room to run. If we end up seeing weakness inside of the play, then of course price action would have to fall below $20, but even so, if it can hold up 19, that is still not too bad. It only starts becoming a concern unless we start coming down and dropping below 18 bucks. But for the most part, the chart continues to look good. Like I said, strong uptrend. Let's see it continue. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for Lucid. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings for the 21st, we have one closed position here from Kestrel Private Wealth Services LLC, and you can see it right there clearly. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 46.43%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 2.75 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 100,000, updated 5 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 13.94%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 19th, it is at 52.32, and then for the close of the 20th, being at 46.43. So it has gone down a bit, and then taking a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 23.39%, Lucid does continue to have short squeeze potential. So we're going to take a look at the chart for NIO. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $20.68, being up 1.52%. On the low, it tested $20.16, and then on the high, testing $21.17. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 39.69 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 46.493 million shares. So we had below average volume on the day, but we saw some strength in the stock. So when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we want to see what the bigger picture is looking like for NIO. So the first thing I want you guys to pay attention to, it is well known for having support right here at $20, and it ended up seeing a high at 21.17 and testing a low at 20.16. So what this means is that $20 has shown that there's bulls here. We have buyers down here. So they were able to push this price up to 21.17. So that means going into tomorrow and as well as going into next week, we want to see a further move to the upside. And what could it look like before NIO starts seeing some resistance is right here at 21.81. You can see we have a strong sell here right here on the 18th of July. You also see it right here on the 13th of July, and you also see some weakness here by the look of this candle is right here on the 11th of July. So taking that into consideration, if we could break through this level at 21.81, that's where I want to see NIO making that move to 22.63 and then the move going to 23.30. This is very achievable for a stock like NIO, so keep that in mind if this bullish uptrend does continue. Another thing that we also have to take into consideration, it is forming higher lows. So you can see down here we tested the low on July the 19th at 19.53. We tested a low here at 20 bucks, and here we are testing a low at $20.16 today. So we want to see a continuation of that and follow it along with another higher high as well. So let's see what NIO gives us. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for NIO. Scrolling down on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings, we have closed positions for the 21st from Charter Oak and as well as Kestra Private Wealth Services. But we do have a new position back here on the 20th for Beacon Capital Management Inc. that purchased 175 shares. And the next filing being the most noticeable as far as for a new position was Verity Management LLC that purchased 11,800 shares. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 57.95%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 11.37 million shares. Scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 12 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 0.33%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 19th, it was at 63.07, and then for the close of the 20th, being at 57.95. And then when we take a look at the short interest percentage of the float being at 5.19%, NIO doesn't have short squeeze potential. So to give you guys my final recap for both of these stocks, let's start off with Lucid. So it was great to see that we are still continuing to be on a strong uptrend, and we are getting close to that short-term price target of $22.50, and of course potentially wanting to see that move going to $23. And since we are consistently forming some higher lows as well, I want to see a continuation of $20 holding up. If we can stay above $20, that's why I'm saying there's a good chance Lucid will get to $22.50. Another thing to take into consideration, we also had a strong day inside of the market. Inside of the Discord, many of us are saying, hey, we want to see SPY getting to $400. Of course, it did not get there, but we did have a lot of momentum coming through the EV sector due to the fact that Tesla had quite the run despite the fact that they put up some mediocre earnings. And as far as for NIO, since it did have a recent sell-off, one thing that is very clear, we do have bulls that are stepping up, buying up the stock when it gets close to the $20 range, and even when it did drop below that, there was a lot of demand. So what you want to see from NIO, can it make that move to go back to $23? This is very possible. It is continuing to form higher lows, and we also seeing higher highs as well. So if it's able to do this, then I'm expecting to see NIO trading at least around $22 in the near term, and then seeing what it would do from there. Of course, I'll do some more videos to give you guys some updates. We also have to take into consideration as far as for the Chinese market, it has been looking really good, knowing the fact that they're not trying to force a recession or anything whatsoever. So in regards to interest rates, they have left that unchanged, and this is going to be helpful for Chinese stocks, especially for people wanting to buy those NIO cars. We know that China is an important market for NIO, and we want to make sure that they're in the best position to maximize that. So overall, it was a strong day for both of these stocks. Let's see if the momentum can continue going into tomorrow. I did see that Snap released their earnings, and we ended up having some sell-offs happening, so it's going to be very interesting to see what the volatility is going to look like. But don't forget, we still have big tech earnings that's going to be coming out next week, and I feel that's going to bring a lot of momentum into the market overall. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be talking to you guys real soon.